Welcome to Sports Talk.
Welcome, I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
I'm talking about sports, and today we're going to be going over the Carolina Panthers 2021 NFL Draft Grade. Look, right away, we got Matt Rule. You got Joe Brady. Good team. They're rebuilding. 7-year contract, I'm pretty sure it was for Matt Rule. Trying to rebuild the Carolina Panthers right. Maybe not rebuild, maybe it's a retool, however you want to call it. Let's hop right into this. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got Sam Darnold. You got DJ Moore. You got Robbie Anderson. You got a pretty good defense last year, Jeremy Chin, right? You got Brian Burns. Mike, they're forming a pretty good team here. Dante Jackson. Some superstar power. Let's go right into the first pick. You draft J.C. Horn. What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of people on draft day, we're sitting there watching the draft, and people have J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain both falling out of the top 10. And then Panthers take J.C. Horn. It shocked a lot of people. I don't think it's that shocking at all because J.C. Horn was the best cornerback in this draft, and he was better than any quarterback in last year's draft. This guy is just a natural football player and athlete. He is phenomenal. I think he does everything pretty well. He plays good in man coverage, plays good in zone coverage. And my favorite thing about J.C. Horn is he's physical and he is just nasty. You watch him play on tape, he does not give a damn. He plays nasty. He plays angry. And that is what I truly love to see in a player, especially on the defensive side of the football. He's a good run defender. And number one thing, he's willing to tackle. There's a lot of corners you see in the NFL these days aren't willing to light somebody up. That's not the case with J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn will light you up. That's why J.C. Horn was my number one ranked corner, and that's why I absolutely love this pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I had him ranked as my number one cornerback in the last 2 drafts as well. Look, J.C. Horn, it was crazy because everyone was saying Patrick Surtain. I like Caleb Farley too, but he was injury prone. So, coming off that back injury. So J.C. Horn was my number one. And the first thing I wrote about this guy, I said, this kid seems very good. He is great at snatching balls out of the air, really good at cutting routes and running downfield on deep routes. I'd say mainly zone cornerback, but he plays physical. Okay. Like you said, he loves to tackle. If you're going to talk about the biggest flaw in this guy's game, and I want to mention because he's my favorite cornerback, but I do want to mention his flaw, a lot of pass interference calls, likes to tug on the jerseys, but that's just his physical nature. You'd rather a foul or a penalty than it being a touchdown.
I'd rather a guy be aggressive and get flagged than be timid on the football field.
I agree. Look, I had him worse of a man corner than Surtain, but I had him way better of a zone corner than Surtain. I have him listed as one of the, if not the best ball hawk in the draft. Great at getting deflections. Again, he's a pretty dang good tackler, but the main thing about him is not just his tackling, but he likes to come up and lay the boom. Big fan of this kid. Very flexible, can get up with the best of them, knock a ball down, great at deflecting the passes, and he's really good at cutting routes, right? Jumping in front of the route, cutting him off, and getting the interception and returning it. Also, not going to get beat deep a lot. Ran a 4.4 40. I got listed down. Really good player. Had him ranked as my number one cornerback. If you can stay away from the penalties, it will be great. The reason I give it an A- as a grade, only reason why I give it an A-, I felt like this team definitely needed an offensive tackle, but we see that they do draft one later in this draft, which makes it reasonable. I was thinking I said Penny Sewell might fall to them. He didn't fall. I thought maybe they would go with Rashawn Slater. They go with J.C. Horn. I like the pick. It was a deep offensive tackle draft, and later on they draft offensive tackle. Let's go with the next guy, Terrace Marshall Jr.
All right, I don't think if I remember what you said, and you're not a fan of Terrace Marshall, but I am kind of a fan of Terrace Marshall. I like the pick here. I think I had him as my 8th ranked receiver, if I'm correct. You can check that on the Top Notch Sports Instagram. Follow it if you are not following it already. But the reason why I like Terrace Marshall Jr. is because he's got good size. And I think he'll fit in this Panthers offense good because I think they need a guy that's a little bit bigger and more of a physical receiver because they don't really have that. DJ Moore's a good all-around receiver. Robbie Anderson's got wheels. They lose Curtis Samuel. That's why I like bringing in a big guy that's physical and hard to bring down, hard to tackle. I think he's got some mismatched height. I think he can go up and get it. And he moves fast in a straight line, too. I think what do you have written as a 40? I think he ran a 4.4. Is that right?
Let me just go back to that page. I gotta find his name. Terrace Marshall. 4.4.
He creates good vertical separation. He goes up and high points the ball. And the thing I love most about him is he's just got a nose for the end zone. He seems like he gets in the end zone a lot. He fights to get in the end zone, and he'll run you over. He's good after he catches the ball. He's strong and hard to bring down, but he does have some weaknesses. His hands truly aren't the best. I've seen some drops out of Terrence Marshall. Drops frustrate me. Drops frustrate quarterbacks. Drops are drive killers. So he's definitely got to get better at just straight up catching a football. And I would say he's not explosive. He's more of a build-up type of speed. Like you get faster as you keep going than being explosive right off the bat. And that's something that can also hurt you in the NFL because you got to be explosive. So these are some things he needs to work on. But overall, I think he fits well in this offense.
Yeah. See, the 4.4 speed to me was kind of like interesting because it went, but let me read what I said real fast. He was my 12th ranked receiver. I say he's a big, fast receiver who can use his speed to his advantage, his speed and his size to his advantage. He uses his body to get in front of the football. If you give him a ball with a lane to run, not many people catching up to him. Not the strongest player, gets stripped up a lot and does not break many tackles. Did not see any special catches either, right? None of those toe tapping, toes in bounds, or using one hand, going up, catching a ball over a receiver. I say he's a good receiver, but I like someone like Bateman, Thielen Wallace. Goes the guys a little bit better. Go ahead.
I like Bateman better than him too. He is a
So,
runner though.
yeah, so those are the guys that are on the board when he's drafted. Look, here's my thing. I'm a fan. I like Terrace Marshall Jr. The issue is the main thing, the main argument I can make about this is he's going to he was from LSU, coming from Joe Brady. This is Joe Brady. Joe Brady probably knows Terrace Marshall Jr. well, can probably use him well. The thing is that, you know, I don't think he was the best receiver available. I really don't think he was the best receiver available. I think Thielen Wallace was better. Rashad Bateman was better. I can keep going on and on. I feel like there's a. Go ahead.
I don't think Rashad Bateman wasn't available at this pick. I don't think.
Did he go in the first round?
Yeah, he was the first
We're
round.
going on blank now. So Thielen Wallace was available. I don't have my wide receivers pulled.
I don't know, like that's why there may have been better prospects. I think I had Thielen Wallace. I believe I had Wallace ranked ahead of him also. But for the fit, I think it's a good fit because the Panthers need a bigger guy. So I'm okay with what we would call a reach based off of our rankings if it's a fit. I think they need more of a physical, bigger-bodied receiver than they need another. What is Tylen Wallace? 6'1", 6'2"?
Yes.
That's DJ Moore size. I like the fact that they go after a guy that's a little bit bigger with this pick.
No, I agree with you. Look, here's I 100% agree on the fact that you're saying with him being a scheme fit. I agree. This is a perfect fit for him, right? Going with Joe Brady, going with this team, gonna fit well. The way you use this guy is slant routes over the middle. He has a big body, but he just doesn't go up and catch balls over people. That's just something he doesn't do. He's much more of a, hey, let me do this, boom, boom, slant, catch it. And if he catches that slant and you give it to him in open space, the 4.4 turns into like 4.29 speed all of a sudden. I feel like he's off I feel like he is pretty explosive with the ball in his hands after a slant or something. I feel like he can break away.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. When I said he wasn't explosive, he's not explosive off the jump.
Yes.
He's explosive over time.
Absolutely.
I don't consider that as being explosive. I consider that as getting faster over time. He's not explosion is off the start. You snap the ball, you explode. That's Tyreek Hill.
I'm saying that he's explosive in the sense that if you give him the ball on a slant route, this guy can take it to the house.
Yes,
he will flip both safeties.
I said in my scouting thing, he picks up speed as he goes.
Yes. All right, let's go to the next guy, Brady Christensen. Did you scout him?
I looked at him a little bit. I did not have him ranked as one of my top 5 tackles. What I noticed from him, I don't think he's the most athletic player in the world. When I watched him play, I didn't feel like he was a phenomenal athlete, but I felt like he's a very smart IQ guy. He's a hard player. He plays hard. I think he's going to struggle against faster defensive linemen, like a speed defensive lineman. I think he might get caught off guard a little bit, but I don't really know much about him.
You know, I didn't scout him myself. He started rising draft boards really late in the draft process. And then next thing you know, by the time, I just didn't scout him. I'm not going to base my grade off of Brady Christensen. From what I know, there's a reason why he rose boards, but I don't know anything about him, to be honest. All right, Tommy Tremble. I'm a big fan of this kid. What do you think?
I like Tommy Tremble too. Hold on, let me find my page real quick on him. type something up. Tommy Tremble, hold on, I'll just start talking while I'm looking for it. Tommy Tremble's a phenomenal athlete. He was a great tight end at Notre Dame, but the problem was they didn't really utilize him as a receiver. They utilized him as more of a blocking guy. They didn't really use a tight end much in their offense. I think he needs some work. He's raw in a sense, but he's got all the tools to end up being a good tight end in this league. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the strength. I think he could be a threat offensively catching the football along with blocking, but he just truly needs to be worked with, and he needs experience. He needs to be thrown out into the NFL and tell him, hey, go catch a pass, go do this. I just think he was underused. I actually think he's a tremendous talent. I'm actually a big fan of this pick.
Me too. Look,
I had him ranked as my third tight end.
Me too. I'm right in my third tight end. I said mainly a blocker who loves to run defenders over. I fell in love with this kid as soon as I turned on the tape. He's an incredible blocker, lines up as a tight end and a fullback, can catch out of the backfield or as a tight end. He will find a team to play on mainly as a blocker, not much film on him catching the football. Like you said, because they didn't utilize him as a catcher. But let me say this, he has a potential of being a great tight end in this league. Yes, that includes catching the football. If you're willing to block and be unselfish, then you will get many opportunities to catch the football. Look, George Kittle was a great blocking tight end in college. Look what he is in the NFL. When I watch this guy, everyone gets mad when you make these comparisons, but George Kittle was written all over this guy. He loves to block. He loves to run people over. If you're willing to do the dirty work and the unselfish, plays, then the catching the football, the receptions, the yards, the touchdowns, that's all going to come. You know how I love TJ Hawkinson. I think Tommy Tremble, look, I fell in love with Kyle Pitts because he's a great talent. I liked, I forget what I ranked as my number 2, Pat Fryermuth. I liked him too as a tight end all around. But Tommy Tremble, I think, has the potential, and I'll put this out here right now in this video, of being the best tight end because he's already an established blocker, and it's not like he has bad hands. He's fast. He's a good athlete. I'm a huge fan of Tommy Tremble. I graded this pick an A+. I love this pick by the Carolina Panthers. Let's go to the next guy, Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard. Okay. I think I had Chuba. Let me just make sure. I believe he was my 9th ranked running back. But see, the thing with no, he's my 6th ranked running back. I'm sorry. The thing with Chuba Hubbard that you turn on the tape and you can't really get a good grasp of what you're truly seeing is because he is extremely, extremely fast. I think we can all agree here, Nick. Chuba Hubbard probably was the fastest running back in this draft. I don't know about 40 time, but I think he played extremely, extremely fast. His junior year, the guy ran for 2,000 something yards and 20 something touchdowns. He's been insane, but the problem was I didn't see him do a lot. Like I saw him, he's got vision to hit holes, but he just ran past everybody most of his college career. I didn't really see him hit many jukes, try to really truck somebody. He didn't catch a pile of passes. I think he caught like 20. His good year was his sophomore year. I think he caught like 23, 24 passes or something like that. I didn't see him have to do a lot to succeed in college, and he's going to have to do a lot more to succeed in the NFL. But I think the Panthers is a great spot for him, especially as a change of pace back to McCaffrey, because think about it. You're playing against Christian McCaffrey all game, and then they put Chuba Hubbard in, and he's going to just run right past you. He's extremely fast. He's a great athlete. I see vision, but I want to see him be put to the test and have to see him throw jukes in. I don't know how great of a juker he is. I don't know how great of a trucker he is because he didn't have to do it a lot in college.
Thank God I just looked at my notes that I've written down for Chuba Hubbard, and I'm like, this is not matching up with him. I had the wrong notes written down. So good thing I must have pasted somebody else's notes that that must have been, no, I think I had written down Javonte Williams' notes. I'm like, this is not adding up. All right, here's what I said about this guy. I said this kid is very fast and very explosive. While watching his film, I saw him fumble twice in a game, but there was no record of it on his stat track. That's something that was highly concerning. I remember watching film, and I saw him fumble twice on the same game. But when I went back and looked at ESPN stats, it didn't show that he fumbled once that season. So that was like Really weird. And it was against West Virginia. So if someone knows more about that, let me know. But it was a clear fumble. It wasn't his knee was down. His knee was not down unless they called it was down, and it was a terrible call. But it was against West Virginia, if anyone's wondering. This kid is super quick, maybe the fastest running back in football if he becomes a starter. Does not have a lot of film breaking tackles in open field. He uses burst of speed as his weapon. Needs to become more elusive and catch more balls to become a complete back. His speed is currently his only and greatest weapon. So with that being stated, I said that's his only and his greatest weapon. I didn't see anything else really special. Look, here's the thing with this guy. He ran a 4.36 40. I'm pretty sure that ranks second out of all running backs 40 time behind Elijah Mitchell, who I'm also a big fan of. Chuba Hubbard, again, going to the perfect system behind Christian McCaffrey, going to be used as a role player. Look, super fast, can be explosive because of his speed. As you said, when you're just running by everyone in college, that's not showing what else you can do. I think he's pretty talented with his speed. I think that can be used as a threat. I might give this one a B. We'll see what Chuba Hubbard can do in the NFL level.
Yeah,
Yep.
I truly think he's talented. I think he could be a good running back, but we didn't see it. Like anyone who turns on tape of Chuba Hubbard in a game is just him running past people. I mean, you can't even like fake that you've seen him throw jukes and throw stiff arms. He doesn't. He never had to. So coming into the NFL, he's going to have to. So then we're going to get a better grasp on how he really is.
Absolutely. Next guy, Keith Taylor. Know anything?
Keith Taylor. No, you skipped one.
Did I?
You skipped Davion Nixon.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I did. All right, yeah, you're right, Davion. I'm a huge fan of his.
I like Davion Nixon too. I'm trying to find out. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I was looking at my thing and I'm like, where is it? I had him ranked as my 4th defensive tackle. Now, Davion Nixon, unlike the guys we were talking about in the last video, I think he is a good pass rushing defensive tackle. I think he's a dangerous pass rusher at the defensive tackle position. And I don't think he's a bad run defender either. I think he can do a little bit of both. I think he plays hard. He's got good vision and awareness. I see him pick up the ball well. Like he sees where the ball is going, plays well in space, uses his hands and feet at the same time, Nick. When I was watching this guy, that is something you like to see when you don't stop moving. You are moving with your feet and your hands. That is absolutely phenomenal. You see a lot of guys, once they make contact, they aren't working as hard on the lower half. This guy was working hard on the lower half. He gets to the quarterback in the hurry, and he is just absolutely disruptive when it comes towards disrupting an offense. I'm a fan of this pick. I think this is a great pick in the 5th round. I really do.
Well, I'll be honest with you. He was my number 1 ranked defensive tackle in this year's draft. And like you said, for all the reasons listed, what was he ranked for you? He was ranked pretty high too, right?
4. And we get my 4th defensive tackle in the 5th round is absolutely phenomenal.
I don't know why. I don't know why he fell. I said, I like this kid a ton. He can fill gaps in the run game without over pursuing. He fights through double teams, shows great IQ. He can even pick the ball off. Looks a little undersized, but his motor is next level. He will pursue a running back or a quarterback. Look, Davion Nixon was my number 1 defensive tackle. And when you look at the media constantly, and I'm reading all these guys and these other people that they mentioned, when I would turn on this guy's film, it was like, who is this guy? Like, why is he not being talked about? And he was my number 1 guy, and I don't even think it was really that close. Look, I'm a huge fan of his. I give this grade a A+. Again, like you said, when you get this guy in the 5th round, people say Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore was not my number 1. This guy was my number 1 for many reasons, and I'm a huge fan of Davion Nixon. Let's go to the next guy now, Keith Taylor.
I don't have him scattered.
Me either. All right, let's go to Deontay Brown.
I don't have him scattered.
All right, him I do. Deontay Brown, my old buddy. This guy was supposed to be, from what I know, the analysts thought this guy was like the next thing since sliced bread. And I was like, hold on, he really is not really that great. And that's just the truth. Here's what I got written down, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just pull this back up. Here we go. I noticed he has a weight issue, which is concerning at the college level. He is good when he gets his hands on the defender, but a lot of film shows he whiffs a lot of blocks in pass and run game. Now, I don't know if he actually has a – that might have just been me being a little cocky. Mike, can you actually look that up? I could have just said that because he looked a little heavy or his weight was concerning to me. Let me see what he actually weighed.
350 pounds. I don't know.
He was 350.
A weight problem or not.
Is there anything about him having a weight issue? Can you look that up real fast while I'm talking about this guy? Because
Yeah,
That could have just been me making a snobby remark just because he didn't look. But all I know is that basically what I said was he whiffs a lot in the run and pass games. And when he gets his hands on the defender, he's good. But the issue is he doesn't get it on him. Like, of course, he gets his hands on the defender more often than not, but he does whiff on occasion. Is there anything about him having weight issues?
I'm not seeing anything on
That
him.
could have just been me just saying that. I left it in my notes. That's kind of, I'm sorry about that, Deontay. I don't want to get in a fight with you, but yeah, so that was just me just saying, all right, how about Shai Smith, Thomas Fletcher, Phil Hoskins?
No.
Me either. All right. And I gave Deontay Brown, I did give him a C for the grade. He was my 9th ranked, he was my 9th ranked guy. And that's really 9th ranked interior offensive lineman. Okay. Here we are.
All right.
That's
So
the moment of truth.
So the grade. Now I look at the Panthers. I love J.C. Horn. I'm a big fan of Terrence Marshall, especially falling into here. Brady Christensen. I know who he is. I know about him, but I did not spend the full amount of time. Like I didn't spend as much time scouting him than I did other offensive tackles. So I can't really say there. He moved up draft boards for a reason. Big fan of Tommy Tremble. Big fan of Chuba Hubbard. Big fan of Davion Nixon. The Carolina Panthers, you may have just got my first A-. I'm a big fan of this draft. I've been a big fan of what Matt Rule has been doing since he got in this organization. And I am excited for this team. I'm excited for this team over the next few seasons because I love the pieces they're bringing in.
Yeah. It would be nice if I ever had a different grade than you, but again, I have an A-.
It's my favorite draft so far.
Yeah. Out of all the ones that we had, they so far to this point, they are my highest grade. My next highest was actually the Jaguars and the Bengals were tied at a B+. Panthers are at an A-. And for all the reasons Mike just said, look, I'm out last year's draft. I had you guys ranked pretty decent as well. I mean, it was pretty high. It wasn't great, but I had it pretty high. No, I never knew Jeremy Chin was going to be what he was. I like Derek Brown. He was my second behind Javon Kinlaw. Look, this year, J.C. Horn, favorite cornerback. Davion Nixon, favorite defensive tackle. You bring in Tommy Tremble, my 3rd ranked tight end, who I think has the potential of possibly being the best all-around tight end in this year's draft. I'm not going to grade Brady Christensen. I don't know anything really about him. Chuba Hubbard has the potential to be great. And Deontay Brown, if you had somebody better than Deontay Brown, I would probably give you even a higher grade. Go back to Terrace Marshall. Again, I like it. Good fit here, but there was better prospects available. A- is a hell of a grade. You guys deserve the grade. Highest draft grade I have given at this point. Although I must say that it's going to start getting up there a little bit. I'm going to start giving out a few more pretty good grades to the next few teams because so far we've been seeing iffy grades. Next a few teams coming up, I got pretty high draft grades on, and the Panthers definitely are deserving of having A-. I'm very happy with the draft. Look, number one, defensive tackle, number 1 cornerback, hell of a draft. You get my number 1 defensive tackle in the 5th round. That's crazy. So congrats to the Panthers.
My number 4th, and it's crazy to get
Still crazy.
4th in the 5th round.
Absolutely. So, guys, that's cool. Anything else from you?
Nothing for me. I'm excited to see how this team could take the NFL by storm in 3 years.
I think so. We'll have to wait and see what Sam Darnold can do this year. Look, they give me in wild card contention if Sam Darnold pans out. We'll have more debates, talk more about the coaching grades, and so much more. So be sure to stay tuned, leave a like and subscribe. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are
Built better.
See you guys soon. Peace.